If you've spent any time speedrunning Contra, or if you've watched other people speedrun the game, you've probably heard the term spread rhythm. Now somebody might talk about how their spread rhythm is looking terrible today, or perhaps they lost it in base 2 and damn, that might have just cost me the run. If you've ever wondered exactly what it is and how it works, you're in the right place. In this video, I'm going to share everything I know about the subject. Folks, this is going to be a deep dive.
Challenge accepted.
Spread rhythm is kind of like button mashing taken to the next level, in that we're button mashing to a very precise rhythm. All I need to do is keep tapping and the pattern of my bullets changes. Let's talk about how spread rhythm actually works. The game has a sprite limit on your bullets. No matter how fast I button mash, there will never be more than 10 bullets on the screen at a time. Now because the spread fire gun fires 5 bullets in an arc, you'll notice in the screenshot that one bullet despawns ahead of the rest. This means that if I were to fire one right now, I'd only shoot one bullet because of the sprite limit. You'll notice that the next 2 bullets in the arc are lined up, so they'll despawn at the same time, followed by the next 2, and then one from the next arc, and then 2, and then finally the last 2. Spread rhythm is really just a player taking advantage of how those bullets despawn. The thing to understand is that the faster I can button mash in perfect rhythm, the more focused my bullets will be, and so the faster I'll be able to kill enemies and bosses. If I was standing far away from the enemy that I was trying to kill, there'd be a cap on how fast I can shoot. It wouldn't matter how fast I mash the fire button because the game only allows 10 bullets on the screen at a time. But if I move closer to the enemy, well, now bullets begin to despawn quicker, thus allowing you to fire faster. This is why on most stages like Jungle, Snowfield and Hangar, we always try to get as close to the enemy as possible when firing. On Jungle, it's why we hug the wall when we're trying to shoot. On Snowfield, it's why we stand as close to the tanks as possible, and while we jump to shoot the UFO. Pro tip, with exception to the base stages, we actually don't want super tight spread rhythm. The recommendation is not to button mash, but rather to tap at roughly 2 presses per second. This ensures that we keep a decent spread, making it easy to de-troll throughout the game. Let's talk about the base stages. On those stages, we want our spread rhythm to be as tight as possible. This is slow. This is better. This is beautiful. It's what runners call fire hosing, a single stream of bullets. Of course, in order to fire hose, we need to be button mashing at a speed of at least 10 presses per second. And remember, it needs to be a steady rhythm. I just wanted to demonstrate how fast 10 button presses per second actually is. Now, there's a website called shmuppspeed.com. For 10 seconds it will count the amounts of button presses I make, in this case the letter Z. The number to keep your eye on is the bottom number. I want that number to get to 100. That's the goal, to show you what 10 presses per second looks like. So let's hope I can do this. Come on. Running behind. Just made it. Button mashing at 10 presses per second is hard enough. I mean, I was speeding up, slowing down, and straight up missing presses altogether. To mash at that speed in a precise enough rhythm to fire hose is a whole other ballgame. Before I conclude this video, I want to give you some practical advice for the base stages. You'd be surprised just how much time you can save with excellent spread rhythm. In the base stages, there are 2 ways to help you get really good spread rhythm. The first is trolls. The trolls are running a little bit in front of the back wall, and so some of your bullets will hit them first, making it a little easier to get more than 2 rows of bullets going. The second and easiest is the rollers. The rollers are travelling towards us, and so spread rhythm is basically inevitable. Just make sure that you're button mashing at a good steady pace before you use a troll or a roller. But here's the thing, spread rhythm really is a skill that needs to be learned. The recommendation we generally make is that if you're just starting out, don't even worry about spread rhythm. It's likely going to take you a few hundred runs to start to get a feel for it, and there are much more useful and easier strats one can learn in the meantime anyway. Most experienced runners recommend that your first goal should be either to complete a deathless run or a sub 12 minute run. At that point, spread rhythm will probably be fairly decent, and you'll have the routes for both bases memorized. Then you can start grinding for better spread rhythm. One more tip, if you keep mashing between rooms and the bases, you won't have to worry about losing spread rhythm and having to pick it up again. This is why the base stages tend to be super tiring. The tip is, get to know what rooms have rollers in them so you can rest your arm from time to time. And that is basically everything I know about spread rhythm. I really hope this video has been useful to you. If you think I've left anything out, feel free to let me know. Thanks for all the support, thanks for watching, and remember, don't stop shooting.